Hello, Titus.
Hey. Why constantly feed yourself the negative? There's so much positive that we can think about. If I'm at peace and I'm right with God, I have His peace in my heart, then the horses are going to have it too.
They feel your energy completely.
Definitely.
You want to raise kids out here?
Yes. I think the only thing I'm missing really is someone to share this life with me and children to enjoy it.
Maybe there's a fine woman out there in the audience that wants to meet up with Titus one day.
I don't know.
How do people get in touch with you?
I have my phone in a little shed by the house, and then I've got an Amish neighbor that helps me pay the bill, and we both use the phone.
Your Amish neighbor uses the phone?
Yes.
The same number?
Yes. So you just leave a message and I call you back.
What do you learn from animals?
So horses have taught me a lot of patience. You can't expect them to always do exactly what you tell them to do because maybe they don't understand. They've not done it before. Maybe they don't understand exactly what you want them to do. So you learn to be patient.
Spirituality is super important for your life, right?
Definitely, definitely.
Like you wouldn't be able to do this without it?
I wouldn't be at peace. Like I would be afraid. I would be afraid that some natural disaster is going to come and a drought's going to come, or you know, some country's going to attack, or those things could happen. But I'm at peace now, knowing that I have a Father in heaven that cares about me, and that He's going to provide what I need.
So what's going on in society? You're not really tuning into it at all, or are you?
I hear people talk about like the war between Russia and Ukraine, Russia taking over Ukraine, things. I hear people talk about it, and I am interested to know what's going on around me. But there comes a point where you hear all this negative information, and you can do nothing at all to stop it. So why constantly feed yourself the negative? You know, negative information is kind of like a junk food diet. If you're constantly giving yourself negative, it'll wear you down. It'll make you sick mentally, emotionally. It'll make you sick. But there's so much positive. See this green that God made, this cool breeze that God made that's coming in. There's so much positive that we can think about. If we'll thank God for what He has given us, it'll change our mental outlook to where we're thinking positive. And then if we are healthy emotionally and mentally, it will also help us to be physically healthy as well. This is one of the Amish schoolhouses. There's about 12 children that go to this school.
12 kids, all ages, right?
Yes, yeah, and they have grades 1 through 8.
Guys, it's quite surreal out here. Such beautiful country in Kentucky. So peaceful. So removed, so wholesome. I get it, Titus. I'm not saying I can live it, but I respect it and admire it. It's definitely a more pure lifestyle than most of us live.
I'm really blessed to be able to live here. Really am.
Hello, Titus.
Hey. Hello, Peter.
This is the office.
Yes.
So this is where you take all the landline calls.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
So you got to come out of the house if someone calls.
Yep.
So why do you have the phone out of the house? You don't want the distraction?
Yeah, like if I'm studying my Bible or something, I don't want to be interrupted. I come out here to check messages, and when it's convenient for me on my schedule, I come, and then I'm gone.
Homemade scarecrow?
Yeah.
Does this work?
I tried it. I had a straw hat on this one, and it worked for about a half day because the crows recognized me with a straw hat. So they stayed away for about a half day. The other one, I had a black felt hat on that one, and I only wear the felt hat in the wintertime, and they're not around much in the wintertime. So that one didn't work at all. I've got corn and pumpkin and beans, and you can see the beans are climbing up the corn there. The Indians called corn, beans, and squash the three sisters because they grow really peacefully. They grow really well together. Corn needs a lot of nitrogen, and so the beans take nitrogen out of the air and fix it into the soil where the corn can get it. The beans need something to climb on to keep them off the ground, so the corn provides support for the beans. And then your pumpkins or squash or melons, they vine out through there and they will shade the soil, and that will help to conserve moisture and suppress the weeds. So they're like three sisters that live well together. I was like 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, and I was over at a neighbor's house shoeing some horses. Or they asked me, do you like pop? I said, I've never had it. They're like, what? You've never had pop? I said, no. They said, well, you want to try it? And I said, sure. So I tried one, and that was enough for the rest of my life. I didn't like it.
It was, what, one Coca-Cola?
It was like a Orange Crush.
You hated it.
It just, along life's pathway, dark despair, are broken-hearted, bowed down with care. I met a Savior, and I knew him there, and he filled that longing down in my soul.
Do you ever read, Titus?
Yes, I like to read my Bible, and I like to read history.
What historical period or what interests you?
I'm very interested to read like the history of Cuba and Europe, and how at one time they had freedom and how one time they prospered, and then how socialism and communism took over, and then how they lost their freedom. I also like to read like biographies, people writing their experience, how they grew up, or their stories.
You grew up in a very religious home, right? Mm-hmm. So you've just kept it going.
Yep.
You didn't phase out of it like a lot of kids do. I grew up going to church, but I don't go to church anymore.
Mm-hmm. You know, if you mean by religious, like lots of forms and lots of ceremonies,
Yeah.
that's not really me. But as far as like reading my Bible, going to the Bible for looking for advice or for wisdom, that's definitely me.
Titus, you got a call.
They can leave a message.
So you have like an old school messaging machine.
Mm-hmm. Fresh from the garden.
Oh yeah, that's like childhood. What do you think people say, let's just call it the outside, not living around here, not understand about your lifestyle or your way of looking at things?
Maybe some people would be like, would somebody want to work that hard?
Okay.
Or, I mean, maybe that's what they, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a lot of different perspectives. Or maybe somebody from the outside looking in would be like, wow, so peaceful. I wish I could live like that. I mean, it would take some time to learn the skills, you know, and it gives you the freedom and the flexibility to, like, if your neighbor's house burns down, that you got the freedom to go and just spend a few days helping them rebuild.